indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Brian, what you got for us today?
Gentlemen, I have a simple day for you today. I just have your head registers for your signatures so we can pay the bills.
Make a motion to approve the Abbott registries as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Down to our general business, we have our prior meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I did not see any erroneous assessments or combined divide. Is that correct? Go down to our general personnel and payroll orders.
Make a motion for the payroll orders as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Down to our bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner reports. Commissioner Ellis, anything to report at this time?
Nothing at this time, sir.
Mr. Foster?
Nothing new.
All right. I will say between here and our next meeting, we will have a Development Authority meeting on Tuesday, April 23rd at 4:30 p.m. We will have a Health Board meeting at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 23rd. State settlements and fiduciary orders. Larry?
Public comments?
I'll circle back to it.
Okay. Yeah, just need a motion to authorize the president to sign off on the estate settlements and fiduciary orders.
I'll make a motion for the commission president to sign off on the estates and fiduciary orders as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. At this time, is there anyone that would like to make a public comment regarding something that is not on the agenda? All right. Hearing none, we'll move on. Jeremy, do you want to wait till later in the meeting for budget revisions?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. So we'll go down to our first agenda items. We have discussion and possible decision to sign an agreement with S&S Engineers for professional engineering services on multiple 911 tower sites. Mr. Jesse Park.
Previously, I had provided the engineering agreement for the communication towers project. I'm assuming and hoping you've had a chance to review it. That agreement's in the amount of $99,850. That includes the, sorry, you're writing. That includes the permitting and all associated tasks with the Winfield Tower site, the Hurricane Tower site, and the Kell Tower site.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Just for clarification, this was after we had done an RFP and
Yeah, Commissioners, if you remember, we had selected after the 5G process, we'd selected another engineering firm and was unsuccessful in the negotiation with that firm. So we moved to pick number 2, which was S&S Engineers, and we had successfully negotiated a price that was within our budget. And based on that, we hadn't signed the agreement yet, just we're trying to figure out one of the sites with the Kell site, what we're going to do there. So this was kind of put on hold, but I think we're ready to move forward with the design at this point.
okay.
I'd like to make a motion to allow the county manager to sign all documents for this project.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, Mr. Parker, you're also up here for an engineering amendment proposal for the Kell property access road.
I also have before you, it's task order number 2. It's an amendment to task order number 1. It's for the geotechnical investigation on the access road from the 4-lane Route 35 into the Kell Tower site. It's in the amount of $22,000.
Yeah, and Commissioners, just to follow up on that, if you recall at the last meeting, we determined that we would hire the geotech directly. We thought that amount would be less than $15,000, which wouldn't require a bid. And all the vendors that we'd reached out to, there were 3. 2 came back, and they were both over 15. One was 16.3 just for geotech, and the second one came in at about 25,000. So in speaking with Jesse, their original price was much more favorable. That also includes doing their geotech.
And report.
And the report with suggestions on how we can fix the access road.
All right, I'll make a motion to allow the county manager to sign all documents as required on the geotech.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Parker.
Thank you.
I'll sign them and scan them in, send them this afternoon.
All right, we have Putnam County homecoming update. Mayor Randy Barrett, City of Winfield.
All right, got a little update. Our chairman's sick, so he couldn't do this part. So our 93rd homecoming is the 10th and 11th, back on 9/11 up there for the Sunday. Events, we've changed our time starting on Saturday a little bit. We tweaked it. It's not, all of our events on Saturday is not going to start till 2. I've talked to Jeremy about we're going to have CL's Finest Car Club, a cruise-in car show up here. I think the prizes are about $1,400. We've got some sponsors for the trophies and stuff. I think those guys are going to set up really early. A lot of them, the access will come from the middle school up that way, since it's pretty steep here. Some of them will have trailers and stuff in there, so we've still access and working with the board and stuff that, you know, we got this big part here taken up in there. They're expecting a lot of cars. I've never saw this kind of a car show. I think some of them's the low riders up and down and stuff. It's not your old standard antique cars. It's a little different than what I'm used to. So it's be a surprise maybe to all of us. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Of course, we're having arts and craft and food vendors. CMC is having a health fair at the fire station. It'll start at 2 also. We got our second annual cornhole tournament. It's a grand to win that, boards and bags in there. And I was really surprised how big that's taken off. They've raised, I'm letting someone else taking care of that completely. Yes, Chevrolet is sponsoring the event and stuff in there, and they didn't limit it to, last year we wouldn't let no pros in. So this year, they can have at it up in there. So I'm looking for a big, they brought probably 120 people to the event last year just for that event. So it don't cost us nothing. So it's a good deal. Fire departments, they've got an old car someone's donated. You pay to smash that, get your anxieties out and stuff. It went over pretty well last year up there, and they got an obstacle course they put in up there that really ended up good too. The petting zoo, the girl from Old Buffalo, she got COVID last year, wasn't able to come, and tons of people showed up for it last year. She didn't know till right the day before. So I'm looking forward, everybody's looking forward to her coming back. She's really good with the animals and stuff down there. Stage on Saturday, local guy Branson Tolliver, he's starting first. The Highlanders is next, and the main attraction is Cody Wickline from The Voice. But seems like everybody's been on The Voice or something. But so he's a little bit bigger than what we've had before. Sunday, the flag raising at the fire department is at 10:30. Church service starts at 9:45. All 3 churches, local churches here is getting together, and that's really gotten bigger. I think we got 150 chairs last year, and we was at least 75 short, so we'll get more from the board office this year. That's, more people show, it's always the best. We're having a special 9/11 ceremony that the Legion 187 is going right after the church service. You all know that 187 does a fantastic job. And they will lead the parade, which starts at 1. Anybody want to enter, they take entries right up to noon. You know, it's a political year, so I'm sure there'll be politicians and everything. We've got William Bodette's going to be our Grand Marshal. I've met him up in there. He's been on History Channel. He's got Bronze Star with V, Purple Heart, just all kinds of accomplishments and stuff in there. So he's going to be our Grand Marshal. We always go through 187 to check on that. No matter who you get, someone said, well, this guy was more deserving. And our little committee, we don't know who up there, so we always kind of bring some people up there and let them vent who it's going to be and stuff in there. We got the Three Amigos and Scott Honaker playing on the stage after the parade. 4 o'clock, we got the homecoming awards. We have who come the furthest, the oldest, the youngest, and the crowning of the queen is at 4:15. So Sunday. So they have another schedule of events. It's on the Putnam County Homecoming, their Facebook page and website. And then I think something comes out in the paper of all the exact times when everybody's going to play that Wednesday before the 10th up there. That's all I got on that.
Then we have discussion of possible decision to provide funding to the Putnam County Homecoming for portable restrooms and power cords.
In the past, always down on Main Street, you all have paid for the restrooms down there. And then used to open up the courthouse, and I think last year we asked for funding, so we had restrooms up here. So I'm at the ones for Main Street for the weekend is $575, and the ones for up on the hill for the weekend is $450, with a total of $1,025. Anytime I've ever got anything from this girl, I know I quoted y'all last year, it's always been cheaper than what I quoted. So I'd like a motion of $1,025, but I'd be surprised if it's not less than that. Because she's never, I don't know why, but it's always been cheaper than what I quoted, than what she's quoted me.
So is that just for the restrooms?
Yeah, the restrooms and the sink.
Okay.
The sink in both places, yes.
And what about the power cords? We'll look at it all at once.
He gave me a deal last year. The year before it was $500, so that would be a $1,500, $1,525 for that and the power cords.
And then
And
Jeremy,
that now is coming from, we used to get that from Cat and Bell, and that company has done a wholesale change of stuff. And Palco, the guy quit down there, Palco, that just moved over here. All that stuff will be coming from Putnam County instead of all the way up in Bell up there.
Okay.
He's been good to work with.
and Jeremy, I think we have a line item for some fairs and festivals.
We do. We budget for fairs and festivals every year, and that would be well within that budget.
All right, Commissioners, any questions for Mayor Barrett?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the $1,525 for the Putnam County Homecoming.
I thought he was asking for 1,525.
1,500.
That's what he said.
Okay.
Yep.
I second it.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mayor. All right, next agenda item, we have a discussion of possible decision on issues regarding the Putnam County Commission versus Jeremy Starks versus Putnam County Commission and the Putnam County Gun Club. Larry?
Yes, we put this on there, and I have present here Eric Embry and Travis Hoffman from Embry and Associates, and they would like to address the commission about, and give you an update on the status of the case.
Okay, given this being a legal lease matter, is this something that could and should be done in an executive session?
It can be done in executive session.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing sale or lease of property.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Well, yeah, we could have built it.
Available space would be all right. out here? That's probably billable hours, they're sitting over there, get in there, get them out of the, so that way, you know, the lawyers sitting around, they don't want to pay them too much anymore. Is there something that you need help with, or question? Is it dilapidated to the point to where it needs to, have you met Tina? Did you meet Tina? Okay, so you're in something like your art direction. If there's something, there's something that can't be done. This a little better now. When I was a kid, dad loved baseball. I just tried to not get hit by pitches. Wes all running, John running, the rest of them. They could wear the ball. Great rep. Dad was very great. Back then, he said, "I'm telling you, for for 4 years, you were right." Dad would get like he got lucky. He got draft pick. He did John running. Well, you get the brother too, you know, the great. You're not talking about us, right? And I was just a little guy who wasn't very good, and just hoping not to get hit by one of their pitches. Wes all the way. He's still pretty good, I think, too, down there. He said, let's see him on Facebook every now and then. Oh, Wes, is he still, he lived in Westland back in the day. Do you remember Westland? I think his brother passed away. Yeah, I think he did. But what was she saying that in there? Yeah. She works much better. They can't wait till soccer starts. Come up with this. And drives Bessie crazy. She wants to go hang with her. She only like talking to me for game day, this and that. I got to talk with her. Look, I'm gonna be there. You need to go just give her real quick, say hello. And then they always sucker me into minutes and their little supper on the fields. So then Beth gets mad because then she's babysitting mom and Jeff, you know. And so she's been coming up with the press box with me to help announce, you know. Yeah. That's probably true. Some of the pronunciations, you know. But yeah, but she's awesome. I'm thankful to have her. She just turned 75. Yeah, they're trolling that a bit. So you have to come and do that. And then Jess is talking about playing basketball. In fact, if she
right, I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have financial updates, Park and Recreation, Mr. Justin Williams.
Sir?
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Good morning.
Morning.
Our updates for the year. Conference Center, we had kind of had a lower expectation on this year because it was still COVID times and things like that, but everything roared back to, back pre-COVID numbers, did very well with the Conference Center bookings. A lot of people clamoring for time to get in there, so we've had an increase in through the week bookings. That was always our weak point of keeping it booked up. Quite a few on there, and looking forward, quite a few bookings already into, summer of 23. Sports rentals didn't have as many tournaments as we'd like to have. Those kind of cooled down a little bit. But as far as just field rentals through the week, soccer and baseball, those were packed from, 4:30 to 9 or 10 o'clock at night, every night, all fields. And I think the seasons on those tend to be like creeping back. They used to start like mid-March, and now I'm starting, if it's pretty in February, I'm getting field bookings early in mid-February on through till, October. Events, we've had continued the usual events we have and kind of expanded on them. We had a large Halloween fundraiser last year, brought in about $7,000 for us. The Yuletide event, I don't know if you guys made it out to it, but we added trees that the community could come out, decorate, and pay money to do so. And we had 24 last year and had a lot of interest after people saw it and the execution of it. I think we'll have probably close to 40 or 50 this year. That's the goal. But it adds to our courtyard area with our main large tree and then surrounded by a bunch of smaller trees. Next page there is the actual profit and loss. We did very well this year. Always trying to reduce spending as much as possible. If we don't need to spend it, we try not to spend it. So we try to keep that down, and revenues were up with the conference center coming back. So we underestimated that and did very well. So we have a decent surplus there. With last year's surplus, we were able to pay off one of our loans entirely. We have three loans. Line of credits, the slide loan, and then a loan for the Commons building. So within this last year, we've used last year's surplus to eliminate one of those completely. Wave pool updates. Wave pool, we were doing well until July decided to rain pretty much every day. So I think we'll still make a profit on that. Just not doing as well in July as we had hoped to with the constant weather issues. This year we did hire our own lifeguards, which is a change up from last year that we were contracted with the Y. So we had roughly 61 kids that we hired, summer jobs for at the park.
While you're discussing that, what's the plan for wave pool hours through the end of this season?
Wave pool is through the end of this weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be closed through the week, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday open until Labor Day.
Justin, if you don't mind, tell the other two commissioners your idea on the lifeguards this spring.
Lifeguards was a little bit of a scramble.
Yeah.
We'd posted it out there. Generally, because we haven't done certification or anything, they usually have to go to the Y or somewhere to get certified. So we were running short. So I've contacted a place that actually does trainings and actually had them come to the pool to provide trainings and just charged a nominal fee just to have some skin in the game from for the employees. And we ended up having 31 lifeguards.
I would like to commend you. Normally, past lifeguard, he took it to do that and worked out more than. So that was a job well done.
Yeah, it was a little bit of investment up front to get them, but it's worked out well. I didn't have anybody like take a class and then just go away or anything like that, so. Next page does show our loans and our balances there. Our total debt last year was $452,000. We reduced that to $314,000 over the course of the year. And that is with taking those excess funds and trying to get those paid down to try to, eliminate the debt service.
What's the term of those loans? When do they pay off?
I don't have it in front of me. One of them, I think, is like 7 years, and the other is another like 9 years.
And are they fixed rate?
They are not. They're variable.
Say it again?
They're variable rates loans.
Variable rate?
Yes.
And we have been, Justin has again taken upon himself to pay down.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to.
Slide.
And I did the financial numbers on those too, showing like amortization of how much you'll end up paying based on the interest rate of each one. So I've been attacking them in the order of which one is costing us more debt service wise.
Commissioner Skidmore, is that a good idea to have variable rates,
As,
especially in this environment?
yeah, I mean, it's something to look at. I remember, I thought they were.
We've mentioned it to them, but
Yeah.
they weren't
But
I
very
mean,
receptive.
and Putnam County Bank has it, but are they
Yes.
adjusting how often are they adjusting those rates?
I haven't got any adjustments lately. I
Yeah.
probably am due one. I think they probably have
I think the bank has been.
as I say, when I was in
pretty
banking, they would do it,
Not adjusting them
Yeah.
upward?
Yeah,
no, they do it like every 3 months, and there was a limit of how much they could adjust it
yeah.
every 3 months. That was the banks I'd worked at, but I don't know how.
Is there a written specific amount
That they can.
that they can, or is it's optional to
It's
them as
optional
to how
the
much
bank,
they do?
yes,
Yeah.
It's
Kinda
the
at their
bank's
mercy in a way, yeah.
At the bank's discretion.
So if we can shop that around and try to find some fixed rates until we get those, that would be advantageous to us.
Well, at this point, if they're not raising it, just
Yeah,
keep.
we have to wait till
Just
it
keep
level-
trying to, we need to keep just
Yes,
plugging at it.
until it levels up.
Yeah, because right now, you're not going to have a favorable fixed rate at this point.
So with the loans there, the line of credit, we were paying like $708 a month on. So I've then rolled that over and using that to pay into the other loan there. Same thing with the surplus. I've got a couple of large expenses that may be coming up. Had several heating and air conditioning units completely go down. I've had 2 or 3 different companies come out and look at them, trying to find the most cost-effective way to repair them, because they're 4-year-old units. They shouldn't be having catastrophic failures, but I have one over the wave pool that has. It's going to be about $10,000 to fix it, and the other, I've got a bill for $3,000 on my desk, and I think there's another $3,000 or $4,000 for another unit. So having all kinds of issues from these carrier units, and they're not that old of units. So take care of that, then look at moving some of that surplus into trying to pay down the next highest interest rate loan we have there. So, and looking forward, I kind of got ahead of it on that, talking about the loan debt. Parking expansion is another thing. Oh, actually, I'm skipping a whole page here. No, I'm not. No, looking forward, parking issue is always the main thing here at the park. I just shared with Brian during the first day of wave pool season, every parking space all the way down past the soccer field was taken. And that's with no baseball, nothing in the conference center, nothing else going on in the park. Just wave pool took up, all the parking in the park pretty much. So have to try to find more ways to be creative with, expansion of parking spots and, taking out islands or whatever needs to be done to try to create, some more parking there. Conference center, we are doing well in bookings. We're already booking into next year, and we'll continue with our usual avenues to get bookings there. We'd usually do a bridal expo in November. We usually get several wedding bookings for that, and continue marketing it on Facebook. Events, we have Cupcake Festival coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend in the park. Very large event. If you haven't been, it's another one that takes up every parking space in the park. Very, very well done festival that Rita Skeens puts together. 2 nights this year, we're doing car show, music Friday nights, and then the usual vendors, cupcake testing, and all that stuff happens on Saturday. So we'll continue building off, our partners and things like that, trying to get more and more events going on there. The barn at the front of the park is finally fully operational as a rental space. I had the heating and air people that have been working on the conference center go down there, get everything, the last bit of stuff hooked up. So it is actually air conditioned, has an ADA compliant bathroom in there, and is, going forward, we'll be able to use as something. I've been contacted by someone wanting to rent it already, but parking was their issue of not having enough access to get in and out of it. So something we're going to look at there and try to figure out. It can be used for, if not a business, for rentals, for parties and things like that. So looking forward, getting rid of the loans at, and parking expansion are my two, big goals for the upcoming year.
The loan debt. Do a lot. The slide comment. And again, I'd like to thank Justin, paying down the slides have been dismantled. Deal to refurbish them. So, again, we get the slides paid off, and maybe we can do something. Great. Something else, smaller. We got to get that done first. Done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think something for the younger kids would be a better angle there, because when the waves are crashing, like if you have a kid attached to your hip, it's not the most ideal situation. So something for the younger children would probably be a better angle.
Justin, talking about the parking, times you park out at the soccer field, witnessed that a mother and 2 kids and all jump at the or to the wave. So we're actually looked at taking out some of the islands, green space, and making more. Justin took the initiative on that, which will increase by 50 or 100?
50 with the drawing we have, yep.
That's all I have. Thank you, Justin.
Any other questions? Thank you. Another financial update, day report, Jamie Hunt.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I believe last time I was over here with you guys was June, and we talked about the grant and the contract and everything like that. At that point, we had just basically refreshed and reloaded on the staff and the contract staff and all that, and it's good to report today that all that's been on a good upswing and things have been doing pretty well. The staff that we have now seems to be in for the long term. The contract staff's been renewed. The board met in end of June and renewed all the contract staff, and everything is good to go as far as staff-wise. If you look at program numbers, they're also on an upswing. Kind of took quite a dip in overall numbers over the last year. The very last page you guys have shows that since January, we've increased our average active offenders. We're down to about 60s, low 60s, January, February, but we're up to, as of July, we're back up to 77. So they're definitely back on the upswing. It's good to see that tide coming back in. That has a lot to do with the amount of criminal cases that were referred to us are now being back in court, and everything's back open. But as I say that, the coronavirus has hit pretty hard at the courthouse the last couple of weeks. So there's been a lot of staff out and a lot of things. So hopefully that don't downswing again. But right now everything seems to be on the upswing. As far as financials go, one of our biggest issues last year, if you recall, in the meeting in June, talked about couldn't keep staff, we were slated for 3 officers, and I think we only had that for 2 months, the whole last year. So our carryover funding was very large this year because we just didn't have the staff to pay. That did more than cover the deficit in the grant this year. So even with that cut, I think we had one officer for 3 months, 2 officers for about 4 months, and we only had 3 officers for a couple months. So, but the way that worked, if you recall, we are well above our required match with the commission donation. So that money we are able to keep and roll and carry over to this fiscal year, which we did. And even with that, we're going to have more monies to carry over. We just finished up all the financials for the year. And it was more than enough to cover the deficit and still have some carryover funding for in case that happens again in the future. So we should be good to go as far as finances. We don't have anything pressing at the time. All the vehicles are in running order. We've had a couple small glitches, but just routine maintenance kind of thing to keep the van and Durango going for community service. We've kind of stepped the efforts back up with community service. We've been keeping busy with that. We've done several projects the last couple months. We've increased the litter pickup. We've done a couple projects with cash and recyclables. We're trying to spread the love as evenly as we can throughout the county. We've done a couple different projects with Polka, a couple different projects with Buffalo. We've had 3 or 4 in Hurricane. So we're kind of helping those municipalities out. We've done several with the courthouse, still helping the senior center out in hometown and the animal shelter. And on the days that we don't have stuff scheduled like that, we're out doing litter pickup on different roads and various roads. Of course, in July, we did the fair daily. We did litter pickup there, and we did a couple big projects before and after with that. So the community service has back to normal. It's good to have the staff to be able to transport them all over the place as well. So everything seems to be getting back to the normal rhythm of what Day Report's been doing. With the current funding and the current situation, the domestic violence BISP classes are still full go. We're still running 3 classes a week, and the magistrates are keeping those full. The contract counselor that we've done, now we've had them, like I said, since April. So we've been able to kind of adapt and do individual counseling without referring out. She can do all that in-house. If there's increased sanctions, if a guy pops positive on a drug screen, options were kind of limited. With her, we can increase sanctions in-house and have more counseling, more treatment and therapy done there instead of referring out to some other agency or that sort of thing. So we've been working all that out, and the programming efforts have really increased. And we're looking at now changing schedules back to maybe some evenings as well, because there for a while we couldn't get any evening opportunity for treatment, counseling, that sort of thing. So this therapist has also allowed us to help with the working class guys a little more, where she can do later in the afternoon if they were doing 8 to 4 every day, she can meet with them afterwards, that sort of thing. And everything seems to be evened out, working out well, and looking good for us finally for a while. Do you guys have any questions as far as what we're doing and how we're doing things?
Any questions?
I do not.
All right, Jamie, thanks so much for the update.
All right, thank you guys.
Next agenda item, Ms. Tina Peck.
Okay, this is an order for the prior approval on July 28th, 2022 for Res 2022-01 to rezone property located on tax map 172, parcel 4 for Linville Enterprises Golf at 4801 Winfield Road in Winfield from an R2 mixed residential district to a C2 high-density commercial district and an IOP industrial office park district to a C2 high-density commercial district.
To make a motion to accept the motion as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I am petitioning the county commission to accept and file the formal complaint against 2022-53. Conrad L. Kane, respondent. This is our DEA case. The written complaint was received on July 15th, 2022. The inspection was conducted on July 15th, 2022 for property located at 153 Shawnee Estates in Winfield, West Virginia, tax map 195C, parcel 97, Photographs of the on-site inspection are attached as Exhibit A. The public records indicate that the landowners of the property is Conrad L. Kane. A copy of the deed and tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The landowner did sign for the certified letter on July 26th of 2022. Proof of receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The date recommendation shall include the removal of all overgrown vegetation from off the lot of record, repair the house structure as well as secure the accessory structure, and maintain regular maintenance of the property. I did go out there this morning to take a look. They had cut down the jungle weeds in the backyard, which gave me a good look at the back of the home, which is starting to really deteriorate. There are vines that have grown, are still there on the home, which is poses a fire hazard. The building out back definitely needs secured. There are no windows or doors. This house has not, or this location, this is not the first time that this home has had a complaint against it. When I took over the DAIA cases back in 2020, this house was on my list to inspect. Unfortunately, when I went out there, there's nothing I could do at that time because the complaint was mostly about the interior of the structure. The health department did go out there back then, but I don't think anything was done at that time. And according to state law, we have no jurisdiction to go inside, but the health department does. But this is not the first time that this house has had a complaint against it. And as far as I know, it does not have regular maintenance done on it. So that's it.
So even though they have completed some progress, there's still a lot of work to be.
There's a lot of work left to do, absolutely.
So we're at what stage of this?
They only cut the weeds out back.
No, what stage are we? He's asking what
Oh, I'm
stage we are
sorry.
in the formal
I
complaint
thought you meant
process.
I thought you meant in the cleanup process. Yes, this is the formal complaint stage. So there's two orders. One is
Accept the complaint and file the complaint.
yes.
All right, I make a motion to accept the complaint on DAIA case 2022-53 as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. And the second would be to
File the formal
file the
complaint.
complaint, I'm sorry. All right, I'd like to make a motion to file the complaint on DAIA case 2022-53 as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Larry Fry.
Yes, Commissioners, if you'll recall, last meeting or a meeting before that, I don't recall exactly what date was, but it was decided that there would be a levy placed on the November 8th, 2022 ballot for the fire and EMS. It requires the entry of an order. So I went ahead and did a proposed order and sent it to the state auditor's office. The state auditor's office will look those over free of charge and provide any type of recommendations. I sent it up to them. They've sent back recommendations. I amended the order based on what they were saying needed to be changed. And so I have a proposed order here that has to be entered in order for it to be placed on the ballot, and it just requires the signature of all three of the commissioners.
Are you comfortable that it is in conformance with the state code and everything now?
I believe it is. After I got their initial responses back, I made the changes and sent it back to them again, asking them to look it over. And I think that was on August the 4th. I have not received anything back from them at this time.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to accept the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And there are two other things. One of them is basically a proposed ballot that will be placed on during the election on November the 8th, 2022. It has to be a separate ballot as opposed to anything else that's on during the election. And there is also a newspaper advertisement that I have prepared. That does not necessarily require a signature, but there needs to be a signature on the proposed ballot, and it's just need a motion for the commission president to sign off on that.
I'd like to make a motion for the commission president to sign off on the document as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Then Jeremy, I think we're to trick or treat public notice.
Yeah, I think we have an order prepared for you. Monday, October 31st is when Halloween is, and I think City of Hurricane, if I'm not mistaken, has already scheduled their trick or treat for the 31st.
I think Winfield has as well.
Winfield has as well, so we have to make a decision on all areas of Putnam County that are outside of municipalities.
Do you want to go with the same 31st? Winfield and Barrett?
Try to do uniformity.
Yes. All right, I'll make a motion to set the 31st for trick or treat notice as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Melissa, did you already give them that order? Okay. I do have one budget revision for you to get today. It is Department 700. They're requesting to increase capital outlay equipment for $27,000 and to decrease auto supplies $27,000. And that amount goes towards the match dollars on a grant that they had received.
I'd like to make a motion to accept as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You have any other orders or anything, Jeremy?
I do. I have about 6 orders here. First one is to issue a check from the TIF fund in the amount of $62,825.87 payable to West Banco trustee for July 2022 TIF revenue.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Check from the general county fund in the amount of $1,420.09 payable to Violent Crime Drug Task Force West for purchase of evidence and information.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
A check from the spay and neuter fund in the amount of $281 payable to Help for Animals for services provided.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Check from the Putnam County Building Fund in the amount of $15,333.70 payable to Silling Architects for design work on the Putnam County Sheriff facility.
Make a motion to accept the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the next 2 orders are both from the Water and Sewer Fund, both payable to Terradon. First one's $750 for engineering services on the Deerfield Estate Water Project, and the second one is for $900 on the Jim Ridge Phase 2 Water Main Extension Project.
Make a motion to accept the orders as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right. Anything else that needs to come for us at this time?
Nope.
Make a motion to adjourn to our next scheduled meeting on August 30th at 5:30.
Yeah, just for the record, that is Tuesday, August 30th at 5:30.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.